What's correct, and it's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So we're going over the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're going to do a season preview. We're going to take a look at the roster, schedule, give you my projected starters, as well as a prediction on how they're going to fare this season. But go ahead, become a bro, and subscribe. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. Go ahead, share the video. It's always much appreciated, much obliged. A lot of content on the channel, so indulge. Let's go ahead, let's dive in, let's do the dang thing. We're gonna first go over the roster, and first things first. Big Ben, he's back. Stay healthy, Ben. Stay healthy. This team, while they may stay competitive, they will not nearly win as much with Rudolph or Hodges as their quarterback. So Ben, stay healthy. He looked good after a nice trim, but let's look at the weapons he has to work with here. So, you got Juju Smith-Schuster. This is a guy, I think we're going to see him play a lot more in the slot because he's not that successful on the outside. Just doesn't do well against any sort of press coverage. So, I think, and where he really succeeded was when Antonio Brown was on the team, when he was able to go and play on the inside. That's where I think Deontay Johnson, who I loved, I actually called that pick, him in the third round to the Steelers. He reminded me a lot of Antonio Brown. So I think Johnson, he can play a little bit on the outside. He can come in, play on the inside as well. He can do a lot of different things for this team. I think with him and Juju, they are going to be mainstays when it comes to when they need receivers on the field. But I think we're going to see a lot of Chase Claypool this year. James Washington, they're very similar, except for Chase Claypool is very athletically, he's a monster. Production wise, not so much, or at least in Notre Dame he wasn't. But I like the flexibility that this guy, he can also kick onto the line. Like I was saying it all draft that he should convert to tight end. He would be a banger of receiving tight end. But this team has a lot of weapons at receiver, so he can definitely come on the field and they can figure out a way to exploit any mismatch they have with him. Don't be sleeping on Deion Kane if he makes the roster, of course. But he was a guy I was pretty high on. Well, I don't want to say pretty high on, not like I had him in like the first three rounds, but a guy that I thought could have been a really good sleeper a couple of years ago. Ryan Switzer, he's still there, but let's be honest, he's a special teams guy. At tight end, the addition of Eric Ebron, I thought was phenomenal. You still got Vance McDonald there, who really struggled without Big Ben. Eric Ebron, he comes in, he provides a very good red zone threat, a very good just a deep threat from the tight end position. So I expect a lot of two tight end packages there. And then at running back, it's a mixed bag. James Conner, when healthy, has been very, very good. But I think they got a few guys that definitely come in and, maybe help him stay on the field. I mean, not get hurt. Jalen Samuels, he's pretty good, but he really only fills a receiving role, in my opinion. Anthony McFarland, he comes on the field. He provides a totally different look than you get with James Conner. The dude is lightning in a bottle. Take him the football, let him go. And honestly, I think the guy who will probably be the running back 2 here is Benny Snell. Big bruiser. He's a north-south runner. Hard nose. I think he'll probably end up seeing probably the most snaps after James Conner if he stays healthy. So running back, I feel good about the running back position. They got a quartet guys that come in there and do what's asked of them. So Big Ben working with a lot of weapons. Don't forget Derek Watt. They paid the fullback $3 million a year, so you're going to see him on the field a lot. And the offensive line, it's a little trickier because I've read a lot of different things about different moves that they might make on the offensive line with Villanueva. I mean, he's entrenched as the starter at left tackle. Same with Pouncey at center and DeCastro at right guard. But with Matt Fleer, there's talks that he might move to left guard, and they will have a battle there at right tackle with Zach Banner and Okorafor. Me personally, I wouldn't move him. He's been very good there at right tackle. And they brought in a guy that I love. I thought this was a great pickup. I actually called this pickup Stephen Wisniewski, the guy, he saw 400 snaps last year for the Chiefs. He allowed only 8 pressures, no penalties. The guy's a journeyman, but teams love having him on their roster. You could talk about maybe put Kevin Dotson in the conversation here, but he's a young guy. I'd rather go with the reliable veteran, especially one of his caliber. So to me, I would stick with Fleer at right tackle. But let's take a gander at the defense, because this is what kept him in the honestly kept him in games last year. Secondary, it's phenomenal. I love, like, Steven Nelson. I totally didn't think he was gonna perform as well as he has in Pittsburgh. Good on them. That was a good pickup. Then you got Joe Hayden, savvy vet, still playing at a high level. But keep in mind, like Cameron Sutton. Yes, he saw limited snaps, just a little under 300, but he performed extremely well. He definitely could come in and be a cornerback too. Like, don't sleep on him. They do have Justin Lane, but he hardly saw any time just because of how deep they are at the cornerback position. And then you got Mike Hilton in the slot, who has been actually one of the better slot corners in the NFL. And then at safety, Mika Fitzpatrick revived his career. I'm a Dolphins fan. Bam, you can see the hat there. Bittersweet, but hey, I'm glad to see you doing well over there, Minka. Gotta pronounce that N. Then Terrell Edmonds, I think, is the weak spot in the secondary. For a safety, last year he allowed over 350 yards receiving. That's horrible if you're a safety. So he's just terrible in coverage. Honestly, I think they would do. I think this is a guy they could eventually replace. I don't really know what they're gonna do with Antoine Brooks Jr., because he's a guy that's kind of, like, he's very physical, like a linebacker, and you would like that athleticism, but I don't think he's big enough to play linebacker. But at the same time, I don't think he's athletic enough to stay at safety. So it'd be interesting to see what they do with him. And going to the linebacking core, Devin Bush last year was phenomenal. One of the probably the best rookie linebacker last season. He did have a bit of a learning curve early there in the season, because very athletic, but he fared very well in man coverage. Where he struggled with zone coverage, you see him get lost at times. Like I said, he played much better in that regard down the stretch. So it's all clicking. I expect him to come out, maybe be even a Pro Bowler this season. And right next to him, yes, okay, Vince Williams. He gets ragged on a lot, but the guy, he's solid. He's not bad. He's actually pretty solid for this team. He does pretty well in coverage, but yeah, he's not exactly someone that you're like, oh yay, ha. I get it, but he doesn't hurt the team when he's on the field. And then you got the edges there with Bud Dupree, TJ Watt, absolute monster. Alex Highsmith, best believe this guy will see some time there. Maybe in passing situations, because I'm telling you, he's going to end up replacing Bud Dupree. A lot of people like Bud Dupree. He has not been good over the course of his career, at least for a first round pick. He has not been good. He last year would be like, oh man, he came in just like a house of fire, dude. The dude had 51 pressures, and I think he had a little under 900 snaps. Let me confirm this. I do like to be accurate. He had 980, almost 1,000 snaps, and he only provided 51 pressures. And if you match that up to his teammate, TJ Watt, he had 81 pressures. The guy, he had a lot of cleanup sacks last year. He didn't play that well down the stretch, at least from a pass rush perspective. You can't even leave him in coverage. It's not like he could play back. I think Alex Highsmith, he provides that athleticism where you don't exactly know what he's going to do on any given play, but he is still a very raw prospect. But yeah, I think Bud Dupree, he's going to be the starter this year. Let's not get that twisted, but I just won't expect. I expect for Bud Dupree, it was a career year last year. The years prior, I think he hovered around 40 pressures with similar snap totals. So I expect him to kind of go back to that, because like if you even look before that, it's awful. So I'm trying to compare him at his best, and at his best he has been average. Defensive line, monsters. You got monsters. Monsters on top of monsters with Cameron Hayward and Stephon Tuitt. Both of them are phenomenal. They're among the best at what they do. I love them. They're going to see the field a lot. The question is, who's going to be playing nose tackle? Who's going to be the zero tech? They lost Hargrave. I thought that was a big loss, but they weren't going to be able to pay him. So you got multiple guys that could come in the mix there. Guy that I have outside shot, Josiah Conti at Ole Miss, rookie. I liked him as a late round prospect coming in the draft. He's a guy that pretty athletic, and he can play on the line if you need him to, play like zero tech. So he's a guy with an outside shot. You could also maybe make a case for Carlos Davis, but I think that you're gonna see kind of this weird rotation with. I don't think they have Chris Wormley there. He's not gonna hold up there. He's not gonna hold up playing the nose. So I see him as a rotation with Hayward or Tuitt. I think you're gonna see a mix of McCullers, who he's played very well in a backup role though, and then Tyson Alualu, journeyman. This guy's been with multiple teams over the course of his career. He played actually particularly well last season in a rotation role, so I expect him to actually play a lot there at the zero tech. So we're going to be seeing kind of a revolving door there. But the defense, it's coming back. They added very few parts. They have more so maybe a little depth here and there, but the defense should be a banger. Let's go ahead. Let's take a gander at the schedule. Whoops, we probably got this all lined up. So schedule not particularly tough outside of the division they play in. Having to face the Browns, which they're playing with a chip on their shoulder. So I expect them to be better this year. On top of that, you're gonna have to face the Ravens, who played extremely well last year. But then they gotta face the NFC East. So those are gimme games in my opinion, with the Giants, with the Redskins. You can make a case for Dallas or Pittsburgh. I think they're going to be very competitive, those games. Then you also have the the AFC South. There we go. Which I think they match up well with Indianapolis. I think they're better than, as long as Big Ben stays healthy, I think they could be better than Jacksonville and Houston. And then I think they match up very well against Tennessee. So I don't think their schedule is particularly that hard. Got games against Buffalo, which, that could be a tough one. And then you got another game here against, where you at? Denver, which that can be tough too. But it's early in the year, man. Maybe Drew Lock, because it looks like they're not going to be getting a lot of practice in before the season. So maybe Drew Lock is not there yet. So it's better to get them early in the year than late. So I think they're going to play extremely well this year. Let's go ahead and look at the stars. I'll give you a prediction. And let me actually switch this back. And then Big Ben, of course, is your starter. I got James Conner there. Unless injury, he's going to probably see the most snaps. I got Juju there on the outside, but I think he's going to actually probably play a little bit more in the slot with Johnson. I think both those guys are going to do a lot of rotating. And then I got James Washington right now. I think Chase Claypool, because, I mean, the Steelers, they're really good at developing receivers. So I think he's going to have similar snap total to James Washington. Then I got Eric Ebron here. You could say Vance McDonald. It's really either or. And then with the line, like I said, I'm huge on Wisniewski. I think they brought him in at a very good price. He's a reliable veteran. He played exceptionally well last season. Why not go with someone you know that's going to play well? With Wheeler, you know he played well at right tackle. Keep him at right tackle. Why you got to mess with the good thing? Just leave it as is. I like it as is. And then onto the defensive starters. Hayward, duh. Tuitt, duh. They're pro ballers. They're great. They're great. I got Tyson there at nose, but like I said, it might be like a revolving door there. So That was kind of a tough one to pick there. TJ Watt, Bud Dupree, then Devin Bush. Then we will see Vince Williams there. I think, let me take a quick look at his snap total because it wasn't particularly that high last season. So yeah, he only had a little under 400 snaps. So more times than not, they're going to come in with their edge rushers, with their, if they can, 3 down linemen. So yeah. And then in the secondary, Joe Hayden. Keep a watch out for my boy Cameron Sutton. And then Steven Nelson, who played very well. Mike Hilton. Fitzpatrick there at safety, along with Emmons. Hopefully he can play a little bit better. He is, like I said, the weak link in the secondary. So with all that said and done, let's actually get this done. Let me give you a prediction. I'm gonna just say it. I have them doing particularly well. I put them at 3-3 in the division. But I got this team going 10-6. I think this team, the Steelers, they're always in competition for the playoffs. Even when they are suffering, when they are hurt last year, they stayed in that playoff race. So this is a team, I have a lot of faith in Big Ben. I'm a big fan of Big Ben and the way he plays. So I think this team's going to have a very good rebound year in a tough division and a not so tough schedule. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. And that's it for the video. Go ahead, do that YouTube thing. And until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.